We are going to hurt my feelings today. Welcome to Surviving in Books, where life is nuts, so let's escape into great reads. We are going to do 1-star reviews of some of my favorite books. These are books that I absolutely love, and I just can't understand why anyone in the world wouldn't love them as much as me, because that's how much they mean to me. But of course, there are people that absolutely hate them, and I'm going to read what they have to say. Why? I don't really know why, but we're just going to go with it. Up first is going to be Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Okay, are you ready for this? If you love this book, we can do it. We can get through this. Okay. Every so often, I am lucky enough to come across something that reminds me of how beautiful the diversity of the human experience is. For example, some people love this book. This is probably the worst book I've ever read. The sci-fi story premise was fun and a cool idea. The writing was insultingly bad. The humor and prose in this book were exactly how I would have written it myself in 7th grade. Read this book if you hate the English language but love reading. Wow. Tell us how you really feel, Mike. Didn't finish it. I don't know what draws people to cliché, simplistic writing, but I do not find it interesting. Okay, we've got Sunrise on the Reaping. Now, I fully admit that I think this book was meant for Hunger Games fans, and to really appreciate it, you have to really like the Hunger Games, because the Easter eggs and the callbacks and all of those things were just so much fun as a Hunger Games fan, and they probably weren't really that big of a deal to people who weren't as invested in the series as those of us that love it. So I get that. Boo, tomatoes, tomatoes. Clearly, I am living in the wrong timeline, because what the heck was this? DNF at 54%. Not my Hey Mitch. I don't know, man. I thought Suzanne Collins did a really good job of showing how someone like so happy and full of life could become the Hey Mitch that we see in the Hunger Games book 1. But, that's me. Okay, up next we have Anathema. Now, this is a book that was my first spooky season book last year, and I loved it. The Eating Woods, it's now going to be a trilogy. Book 2 actually just came out. And I don't know, the gothic, dark, slow burn, all of those things, I was really digging it, and I absolutely loved it. I understand that it is a little hard to get into at first because it's very descriptive and there's a lot going on, but I really think this is a great book. And also, I fell in love with Keri with this book and have been devouring all of her books ever since. I've been branching into the romantasy genre this year, but this book sent me straight back to my lane. Absolutely terrible. I'm actually embarrassed to have read this. DNF, I'm so bored and confused, LOL. Got bored and DNF'd. It's so slow, I felt like I was being tortured. And then we have Blood Over Brighthaven. Now, I think that this book is just pure perfection. I love it. And I can see that maybe this genre isn't somebody's, but to give it a 1-star review, I'm curious to see what we get. DNF at 38%. I just don't care. The magic system here just about puts me to sleep. May come back to it, but doubt it. Just what? Not my kind of book. I realized I hate fantasy. They hurt a little bit. That hurts to hear that right here, but it's okay. It's okay. I can take it. Now, I rarely ever leave 1-star reviews. I just don't think it's very nice, because if I don't connect with a book, I don't think that makes it absolute value bad. But there is one book that enraged me. I'm talking about White Hot Rage. I wrote this review in 2016. And back then I had a little bit of a different outlook on how reviews should work. I was younger, obviously. And this is somewhat scathing, but I still stand by every point that I made in this review. I think these points, even this many years later, are spot on. And the book I am talking about is 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James. This book infuriated me. Please listen to what I have to say, because I think it is valid. First, I would like to say, if this was a story on a fan fiction website where it belongs, the review would be much different. but since it was decided to hastily morph into something different, it gets 1 star, and that's generous. The writing is terrible, redundant, and terribly redundant. You see what I did there? Does Anastasia like to bite her lip and Christian like to mess with her hair? After both being mentioned 100 times, I'd put my money on yes. Also, I don't think the author is true to her characters. I don't believe Anastasia is as annoying and indecisive as she's made out to be. All the yes, yes, no, no, yes, but no is maddening. The story is also littered with little things that are equally annoying. Why can't a billionaire control freak figure out how to style his hair? That makes absolutely no sense. And what kind of wine lover drinks mostly white wine? And who has conversations via email rather than texting? So frustrating. It's like getting a secondhand story from a drunk guy in a bar. Makes no sense. Bright sides. Number 1, some of the fun scenes are actually decent. Well, at least the first couple. Then once again, we enter terribly redundant territory. 2, I honestly think there's a great story buried under all of the previously mentioned junk. Shy virgin woman meets rich kinky man with a haunted past. What's not to love? It just needs to be completely rewritten. Completely. So that was that. And if you love that book, sorry, I stand by every word that I said. And that's going to do it for our 1-star reviews today. I think after reading my 1-star review of 50 Shades, I think it would be interesting to read some 5-star reviews of books that I absolutely did not enjoy, including 50 Shades, but maybe I'll add in some more. Let me know if you think that would be fun.